I have a tradition of writing, designing, and sewing a soft book for my kids when they are born. It all started with my daughter. I wrote her the story, Before There Was You, all about our family line and how God created her. Then I made one for her about sourdough, which shares how a few ingredients, patience, and work create something we get to enjoy and share with others. Lastly, I made a recipe book to go with a play kitchen. You can see in a previous video the step-by-step tutorial on how to make your own soft book. Writing these little short stories has been a way to weave together some of our family's favorite things to teach our children. So when I had the idea for the next book, I knew it was the perfect soft book for my son, Ames. My plan was to create a memorable soft book that shares the story of how uniquely made he is by God and how we are woven together like threads that make up a beautiful fabric or tapestry. As I worked on this project, it came together so slowly compared to the other projects I've made in the past, which I believe was intentional the way it worked out. It gave me time to explore how to create a unique book for him, based on the soft book idea but still unique in its own design, using scrap fabrics from my fabric stash and different techniques of sewing on each page. I used the words of the book to guide the design of the pages. In the past, I've printed on fabric at home, but this time I tested what it would be like to have the pages pre-printed by Little Kill Calico and cut them to size. This time, instead of using crinkly pages, I used batting between the pages to soften them. Since I used scrap fabric I had for each page, I like how the colors naturally fit together.
I am taking a pause to show you what I'm working on. I got my newest Mrs. Quilty box, and this is a quilting subscription box. It comes with so many projects in each box and all of the things that you need to create each project. So I'm currently working on a flower coaster, which I am really excited about because it's teaching me how to create a flower design by quilting. I've always wondered, how do they make those wonderful shapes that are not a square and they're not a triangle? I've never branched out, so this is stretching me and teaching me exactly what I need to do to achieve that flower look on a quilt. And so I'm really excited as I'm piecing these little pieces together. So if you are like me and have wanted to get into quilting and need to learn the basics, want accountability to walk through a project and even project ideas, Mrs. Quilty is the perfect subscription because it shows up at your door with everything you need. And every month that you get a box, you get a free gift. So this time I got a awesome seam ripper and some clips, which I have been needing really bad. And it comes with the fabric and this beautiful magazine that's going to walk you through every project. It has photos, diagrams, and it has a few extra things hidden in there that I know you are going to enjoy. So I'm going to keep working on my project here and piecing all of the pieces together to make a beautiful quilted flower. And you can click the link below to get your own Mrs. Quilty box and start quilting this year and learning a new skill.
We are all stitched together like threads on a quilt. The story came to me long before it made the pages of the book. Actually, right before Ames was born, I wrote the story in a journal alongside some prayers I was praying over him. I kept it tucked away and wanted to finish the book before he was born, but every time I went to work on it, I wasn't getting it into the groove. It felt like I needed to give it space. Do you ever work on projects like that? You have an end goal, but along the way, things just aren't coming together how you want. I wrote a few pages for the book over the summer, but they didn't feel like they were right. The longer I've sewn, the more I've learned it is okay to take breaks. And if I truly want something to be passed down or worn for a while or stand the test of time, it's better to give the project the space it needs. Ironically, this is what the book speaks to. Planning out details and love creates something so unique and beautiful to each person, and that takes time. Finally, 6 months later, I felt like things were starting to come together. Using a color palette of scrap fabrics with different textures and fibers that will be soft to the touch. I worked with shapes and a zigzag stitch to do little appliques on the pages, and on the last page, there is room for a photo of Ames. Stitching the pages isn't only about the act of sewing and finishing the book. It's about taking the time to pause and to think about the lessons that will be passed on even through this simple soft book. Lessons of patience, beauty in the little things, noticing details and seeing the uniqueness in others. Like the threads that make up this book, we aren't perfect, but that doesn't take away from our beautiful design. And truly, it makes us all the more special. We are all stitched together like threads on a quilt. We all have a purpose. We are carefully built. God created you with love, planning out every detail. He stitched you together and said, "You're beautiful." Inside and out, he thought it all through, each and every detail that makes you, you. Thank you for watching this book come together. I hope it inspires your own creativity. And if you'd like to learn how to make a soft book, you can find the step-by-step tutorial on how to make your own in this next video.